He was the iconic child star of the 60s and 70s, the innocent red-headed kid who charmed an entire generation. As Jody on Family Affair, he was America's son. As Tom Sawyer, he was the spirit of adventure. His face was a symbol of a more wholesome time, a smile so pure, it seemed impossible that any darkness could lie behind it. But what if that smile was a carefully constructed mask? What if the life Hollywood sold to the world was a complete fabrication, hiding a harrowing story of profound tragedy, soul-crushing betrayal, and a literal brush with death? This is the story of a beloved star who didn't just fall from grace. He was pushed into the abyss. And the identity of who pushed him is the most shocking part of the story. The story begins, as it so often does in Hollywood, with a flash of impossible luck. At just 6 years old, Johnny Whitaker walked into an audition for a 10-year-old's part and, against all odds, walked out a star. His on-screen chemistry with Anissa Jones, who played his on-screen twin Buffy, was pure magic. Together they became America's sweethearts, the heart of a show that defined an era. But the saccharine, sugar and spice world of Family Affair was a complete fantasy. Johnny himself would later admit the show was unrealistic, stating, "No children are that angelic." He was right. Behind the camera, the perfect illusion was beginning to develop deep, ominous cracks. While Johnny and Anissa played inseparable twins on television, their real lives were worlds apart, planting the bitter seeds of a tragedy that no one, least of all the viewing public, saw coming. Imagine being a child, but your childhood is a full-time job, a world where auditions, script memorization, and the constant pressure of stage parenting become your entire reality. Johnny wasn't just some kid reading lines. He was an exceptionally bright child, fluent in multiple languages, a detail that hints at the deep complexity bubbling just under the surface of his all-American persona. Before he even lost his baby teeth, he was sitting at dinner tables with Hollywood giants like the legendary Brian Keith and the chaotic genius of Jonathan Winters, learning about fame, fortune, and the profound weirdness of it all. But what was happening on the set of Family Affair, hidden from the cameras, would end up shocking even the most jaded Hollywood insiders. The first thread of this carefully woven Hollywood tapestry didn't just fray, it snapped with brutal finality. Anissa Jones, his TV twin, the girl he considered his sister, was found dead at 18 from a massive, deliberate drug overdose. The public was horrified. The news sent shockwaves through the industry. But Johnny, he wasn't surprised. He had seen the warning signs. He understood the crushing, heavy realities that child stardom forces upon its young victims. He later confessed his profound grief, saying, "It was still difficult to lose her so young." He had tried to help her, to pull her back from the edge, but the Hollywood machine, with its relentless pressures, was too powerful. What would you do if your entire career, your whole identity, was built on pretending that everything was perfect, even as the world crumbled around you? For Johnny, Anissa's death wasn't just a tragic headline, it was a terrifying and personal prophecy of what was to come. He found himself struggling to find his footing as a young adult actor, haunted by the long shadow of his wholesome past, while the darkness of his present reality threatened to pull him under for good. It's a story of one shocking twist after another, isn't it? If you want to make sure you don't miss out on more true stories that Hollywood has tried to keep hidden, do me a favor. Take a second to have a family affair with that subscribe button and give this video a like. It tells the powers that be that you, like us, believe these important stories need to be told. And this is where the story truly escalates, where the downward spiral accelerates into a terrifying freefall. The innocent child star persona didn't just fade, it was utterly obliterated. Johnny dove headfirst into a self-destructive life of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The first domino to fall was his marriage. He got married only to have his wife leave him, for the very man who had thrown his bachelor party. It's a betrayal so cruel, so cinematic, you couldn't write it. But it was his reality. He found love again, a chance at a new beginning. They were even expecting a child. And then, the unthinkable happened. His pregnant girlfriend died by suicide. This was the breaking point. This was the moment the floor completely fell out from under him, plunging him into an abyss of despair. He descended into a full-blown, crippling addiction to drugs and alcohol. He became so lost, so consumed by his demons, that his own church, the faith he had been raised in, publicly excommunicated him. A humiliating public shaming that few celebrities ever have to endure. He went from a beloved star to a homeless man on the streets. He wasn't just sad, he was a ghost. He was utterly and completely annihilated by grief and addiction. And just when you think it can't possibly get any worse, it does. During a drug overdose, Johnny Whitaker's heart stopped. He was declared clinically dead, only to be revived by the intervention of medical professionals. Think about that for a moment. He was already dead in a way. The person he had been, the star everyone knew, was gone, burned away by one tragedy after another. This near-death experience became the ultimate high-stakes moment. If he didn't fundamentally change, his contract with life itself was set to expire. His family, seeing him at his absolute lowest, delivered a final, desperate ultimatum. Get clean or you will lose us too. It was the intervention that finally broke through the noise, the final, desperate lifeline that he finally grabbed onto. He entered a grueling, decade-long battle in rehab, fighting his way back from the edge of oblivion. The climb back was brutal, a daily war against his own demons. But Johnny didn't just get clean, he reinvented himself from the ashes of his former life. He anchored his new existence to a powerful central theme: redemption. The man who had lost absolutely everything to addiction became a certified drug and alcohol counselor. He stepped into the spotlight once more, not as a performer, but as a man with a vital message, his eyes scanning for those who were lost in the same darkness he had known so well. He even founded a nonprofit organization to help Spanish-speaking addicts. And that public excommunication? After 25 years of hard-won sobriety, he was rebaptized into his faith, completing a full-circle comeback that most people only ever see in movies. He explained the insidious trap he fell into as a warning for a new generation. If you're in an environment where drinking and using drugs is acceptable, it becomes acceptable. You don't think there's anything wrong.
The story should end there. It's the perfect Hollywood ending. Tragedy, rock bottom, and finally, redemption. A happy ending. But this is not a Hollywood movie, and this story isn't finished. In 2024, a new, shocking headline exploded into the public consciousness. According to news reports, Johnny Whitaker was charged over serious allegations of sexual misconduct involving a minor, with a court outcome still pending. It's an explosive, deeply unsettling twist in a life already defined by the most dramatic turns imaginable. As of the time of this recording, the case is still pending, adding a profoundly disturbing layer of fresh controversy. It forces us to re-examine everything we thought we knew about the man and his incredible journey. So who is Johnny Whitaker? Is he the innocent child star, the tragic figure, the redeemed survivor, or is he something far more complicated, something that defies easy categorization? His journey is a harrowing testament to the crushing psychological toll of a life lived in the unforgiving spotlight. From the too sugar and spice facade of Family Affair to the real-life betrayals and a literal dance with death, his story is a high-stakes drama where everything was on the line: his career, his family, and his very life. His ongoing story is one of constant, unbelievable reinvention, a living cautionary tale, and a desperate search for peace. But the strangest part of this entire saga is the realization that even after all of this, the final act might still be unwritten.